Hey there, D&D enthusiast. Welcome back to Fictional Characters in D&D, Halloween Edition, where we do the work so you don't have to. Ready to bring in the horror of Camp Crystal Lake to your next campaign? Well, today, we're diving deep to create the legendary slasher from the Friday the 13th series, Jason Voorhees. We'll break down everything you need to know to bring this unstoppable force to your tabletop adventures. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's get into this. Now, with these things, as always, before we get into the build itself, I like to rate the difficulty of the build. I am going to rate this a 2 out of 5. This Jason Voorhees build is fairly straightforward, especially for players familiar with barbarian mechanics. It focuses on melee combat and durability, making it easy to play. The roleplay aspects could add some complexity, especially if you want to capture Jason's eerie presence accurately, but overall, it's fairly easy and quite manageable. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the stats. We're using the point-buy system, however, use whatever system you want and just use this as a guide. We're trying to capture his unstoppable strength and resilience, so here is the full breakdown. Our strength stat will be 15. We'll get a +1 from our race, which we'll talk about here in just a second, making it a 16. Our dexterity is a 13. We'll go up by 1, making it a 14, once again from our race. Constitution, 15 +1 from our race, making it a 16. Intelligence is 8. Wisdom is 10. Charisma is 10. These stats make Jason a powerhouse in combat. With high strength from brutal attacks and decent dexterity for agility, Constitution gives him the endurance to withstand damage, while Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma are lower, fitting for his more primal, relentless nature. Now, as I hinted at earlier, we're going to talk about his race. Jason is, well, died a lot. And I mean, he has died over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, we're going to head over to Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft to go with the Reborn race. Now, technically this is a sub-race, so you can add on to another race if you wish, but talk to your DM before you do that, otherwise just use this as a base race. That's how we're going to do it. As a Reborn, you get +2 into one stat, or +1 into another different stat, or you can increase 3 different stats by 1, which is what we did. You get Common and another language that you and your DM is appropriate for the character, so just whatever you want there. You are human, your size is medium, walking speed 30, then you also get Ancestral Legacy, which is something if you go into replacing another race, otherwise we're not going to worry about it too much. The big thing that we wanted from here is Deathless Nature, which gives us advantage on saving throws against disease and being poisoned. We also have resistance to poison damage, and we also have advantage on saving throws. We don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, and you don't need sleep, and you can't be magically put to sleep. You can finish a long rest in 4 hours, and you spend those hours in an active, motionless state, which you retain consciousness. So you have an elf short rest, or an elf long rest, except you don't need even to be asleep, you just have to be motionless, like a Warforged. Lastly, you also have knowledge from the past. You temporarily remember glimpses of the past, perhaps faded memories from ages ago or a previous life. When you make an ability check that uses a skill, you can roll a d6 immediately after seeing the number on the d20 and add that number on the d6 to the check. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you can regain all expended uses on a long rest. It's a thing that won't come up very often, but it's just a nice little touch, almost like a flash of genius from Artificer that you get, which, very nice. Now, let's talk about Jason's background. We chose the Haunted One background, which fits perfectly with his eerie and fearsome reputation. It gives him proficiency in Arcana and Survival, and the Hardest Darkness feature, which makes common folk instinctually fear and shun him, just like in the movies. Jason is an unstoppable force that strikes fear into the hearts of his victims. Alright, let's move on to the class build though. We're going with the Barbarian class. We're going to choose the subclass a little later, and we're only going to level 10. Normally with these builds I only go to level 8, but with Jason I wanted to go just a wee bit higher, just because he is a little stronger than your average build. But I still want these builds to be accessible early enough for everyone that you can play them how you want to play them, and give you that own freedom to them. That being said, though, like I said, we are starting off with Barbarian. This will give us proficiency with Athletics and Intimidation, while we also gain Rage and Unarmored Defense. The very quick TLDR of that, Rage makes our attacks stronger, we are resistant to a couple damage types, and Unarmored Defense, we also get to add our Constitution modifier, as well as our Dex modifier, to our AC, so long as we're not wearing armor. Pretty self-explanatory. Level 2, we gain Reckless Attack and Danger Sense. Reckless Attack, we can make an attack reckless, gives us advantage on attack, gives enemies advantage on us, and Danger Sense gives you an edge to dodge away from danger. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects you could see, and yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Level 3, we're finally going to choose our subclass. We are going Path of the Totem Warrior. Why, you may ask? Well, it's pretty obvious. We're going Totem Warrior, Path of the Bear. This will give us resistance to all damage types except Psychic while raging. I feel like that's Jason to a T. Level 4, instead of an ASI, we're going to take a feat. We are going to take the Great Weapon Master feat to accumulate his brutal high damage attack, which means we can take a -5 penalty to the hit, but if we hit, we get a bonus plus 10 damage to the attack, which is extra nice. Extra nice for us. We really like that. Level 5, extra attack and fast movement. 10 extra feet of movement when we're not wearing armor? Well, pretty nice. Level 6, get another aspect from our totem. Once again, we are going to choose Bear, because that just doubles our carry weight, and, you know, not the craziest thing, but it's nice. Level 7, we get Feral Instinct. What does this do, you may be asking? Well, on top of being advantage on initiative rolls, we also can no longer be surprised in combat. The only caveat to that is you have to rage first before anything else on the start of your turn, and then you go to your normal turn. Level 8, we're not choosing an ASI. Once again, we are choosing a feat. We are going to go with the Tough feat, because that is basically just going to almost double our hit... Well, not double our hit points, but it's going to give us a lot more hit points. Just because Tough just gives you a lot of extra hit points per level, and it's just going to make us a thicker boy, harder to put down. Level 9, Brutal Critical. This is why I wanted to go to level 10, because level 10 sound nicer, but level 9 is what we really came here for. At the beginning of 9th level, you can roll 1 additional weapon die when determining the extra damage for a critical hit with a melee attack. This increases to 2 additional dice at 13, and 3 additional dice at 17. But probably not going to get that far, so the level 9 one of getting an extra dice or crits is very nice. Last but not least, we are going to go level 10 and get Spirit Walker, which allows us to commune with nature, spirits specifically. We basically get the commune with nature spell, but only as a ritual. And when we do it, you also get Spiritual Vision, a version of one of the animals you chose as a totem spirit or aspect of the beast appears to you to convey the information you seek. So basically, you get a spirit bearer with you. Pretty nice. Pretty cool. And there you have it. Jason Voorhees brought to life in D&D 5e. With this build, you'll be the unstoppable force your party won't see coming. So get your machete ready and bring the horror of Camp Crystal Lake to your next game. Happy hunting! And remember, stay out of the woods. I've been your host, Jesus64, and I'll see you all next time. Farewell!